How did China build a country, a superpower on plastic toys? Yes, sirree. I'm not freaking blind, guys. It's Gweilo style. I think it's Thursday. You could die.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Geez, you know. Oh yeah, because it goes on and on and on. For all you haters, there's something to chew on for the next couple of... That's right. China built a country of 1.4 billion people. The richest country in the entire world. The country with the best infrastructure in the entire world. And it all started with manufacturing plastic toys for companies from the Western world. The companies in the Western world, when China opened up in 1978, Guangdong province opened up in 1978, they looked over there and said, holy smokes, there's a billion Chinese workers over there. They're rice farmers, they're fishermen. We could get them to be factory workers, and we're going to exploit those Chinese people as much as we possibly can and make as much money off these people as we possibly can. And you know what China did? China said, come on over. We'll let you set up factories in China. We've got the workers. And why did they do that? Well, because they wanted to build a country. They didn't just want to build a country, they wanted to build the best country in the world. They wanted to turn plastic toy manufacturing, you know, the cheap stuff that you used to get at the dollar store, or you still get at the dollar store or at Walmart for a couple dollars here and a couple dollars there. They turned that manufacturing of cheap plastic toys into the manufacturing hub of the entire world. Most everything that gets manufactured around the world comes from China, or through the supply chain. China builds components for cell phones, for cars, for radios, for televisions, for washing machines, for refrigerators. Actually, they not only make the components, but they put them together here and they ship them all over the world through some of the biggest ports in the entire world are here in China. And it's all because the Western world decided that they wanted to use China to make some money. And China took that and turned it around and actually built an amazing economy on that premise. And as they became the manufacturing hub of the world for plastic toys, for low-end things, they started to develop, they had innovative new ideas on not only how to expand their manufacturing base, but they did a lot of research and development. They started building, as I say, refrigerators for the world, air conditioners for the world, solar panels for the world. They started doing the televisions and the cell phones and the electric cars and regular cars, and all of these things they started manufacturing on a wide base, not just in Guangdong province anymore, but throughout the entire country. They had a workforce of 1.4 billion people to work with, and instead of taking that money from manufacturing and spending it on stupid things like bombs and military expansion around the world, they stayed at home and they spent that money on infrastructure. They spent that money on ports to transport the goods that they make in China to around the world. So that helped them become one of the richest countries in the world over time. And you know, the Western world, when they started doing this, they figured, you know, the Chinese are going to be easy to manipulate. We'll just use those rice farmers and fishermen to do our bidding, and then because we're paying them, we'll control them. And you know, a lot of it had to do with control and how they would control the Chinese people, the Chinese government, and turn it into the democracy of the East. Well, that didn't work for them, and not only did China become that rich country with a great manufacturing base, but they also developed probably one of the best militaries in the world. But it's a defensive military, a military that doesn't have bases, 800 bases around the world. You see, they use their money smartly. They educate their people. They've got more engineers graduating than all the other countries in the world put together every year. They've got they've got the most patents around the world each year coming out of China. And then the West says, well, you know, now we have to decouple from China because they're They're making everything. Well, and then the Western world now can't compete with China. So you can see where this is going down the road as China builds and grows very quickly. As their manufacturing base keeps growing, as their infrastructure keeps growing, as as the education gets better, as everything in the country gets better, they get richer and richer, and the West just can't keep up to them. So instead of manipulating China and the Chinese people, they made it possible for the Chinese people and China to become what it is today. But they didn't mean to do that. They meant to control China through cash. And China turned it around, and now China controls most of the manufacturing, and the supply chain around the world would fall to its knees if China wasn't here. Now China owns the money. Yeah, they've got the money, guys. They own the infrastructure. They own the manufacturing of the world. They own the rare minerals of the world. You see, they've diversified, the entire country has diversified into so many different aspects of the economy around the world. They're part of BRICS, conglomeration of countries, and so they've got financial partners around the world, financial partners like Brazil, South Africa, Venezuela, they've got India, they've got Saudi Arabia's coming on board. You see, instead of trying to manipulate and control other economies like the West tried to do with China, they're partnering up with these people and these countries and making it better for everybody to survive around the world. So the West, using China to manufacture their simple, cheap plastic toys, has brought China to the forefront of the world, the top country of the world once again, because up until a couple hundred years ago, China was the top dog in the world and had been for centuries type thing. So it's just reclaiming its rightful place in the world, and it's strange that it all started with plastic toy manufacturing for greedy companies out of the Western world. So how do you build a country on plastic toys? How do you build the biggest economy in the world off plastic toys? Well, just look and see what the Chinese did starting back in 1978, and just follow their game plan, and you could do it too, I'm sure of it. What it really comes down to is that the United States, Canada, Great Britain, where all of these companies were coming from that wanted to take advantage of the Chinese people, they underestimated the moxie and the determination of the Chinese people and the Chinese government to take something and build and build and build on it. And I think that's what you've seen happen over the last 50 years or a little bit longer, is that China saw an opportunity, and the people saw an opportunity. They took a simple thing like plastic toy manufacturing and turned it into one of the biggest economies in the world because they saw that opportunity, and they took advantage of it. They weren't being taken advantage of by the West. The West thought that they were taking advantage of the Chinese people and the Chinese government, but it didn't work out that way. So when somebody asks you, as I said before, if somebody asks you, how do you build a country as rich, as forward-thinking, as clean, as safe as a place like China, just tell them, well, get companies to send their manufacturing of cheap plastic toys to your country, and then do exactly what China did. And this is what you come up with. A beautiful place with beautiful people, high-rise buildings, parks, and safety. And that, my friends, is another video from Gweilo 60 on the streets of Nanning. It's the middle of October. It's 32 degrees outside. It's a beautiful day, and Like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe, hit the bell. And until next time, thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye now. Hello, ladies. Everybody's so friendly and happy here. It's exactly the opposite of what you hear on Western mainstream media. It's exactly the opposite. They tell you this, you know it's that.